So finding that nice, comfortable position for yourself. Let your eyes gently close. Let your tongue rest behind the upper front teeth. And begin to breathe in a long, slow, deep pattern in and out through the nose. Letting your awareness go inward. And then we're going to bring our focus to our bones. We're going to do a little bit of bone breathing today. So bring your awareness to the tips of your toes and the tips of your fingers. And imagine we can breathe in, nice deep breath in through your fingers, through your toes, through your bones, all the way into your center core. And as you exhale, imagine it rushing back through all the bones, all the way out the fingers and toes, releasing any toxins. Breathing in through your fingers and toes, all the way through the bones, all the way into your center core. And on the exhale, it reverses direction and goes all the way out, flushing out the bones through the fingers, through the toes, like giant smokestacks. And again, breathing in through the fingers and toes, into your core, filling you up. Exhale and flush through all the bone marrow, through all the centers of the bones, flowing out any toxins out through the fingers and through the toes. And then getting a sense that your fingers and toes are becoming one-way valves, so they can receive energy, but they cannot release it. We're going to start to pack some chi into our bones. So let's breathe into the fingers, into the toes, let it flow into your core. And as we exhale, it flows all the way back and it bumps up against the fingers and toes and begins to fill them up because it can't be released. Breathing in through the fingers and toes. As you continue this long, deep pattern all the way to your core, exhale, and it begins to pack even more energy into your fingers and toes. Continuing this long, deep breathing pattern, fingers and toes to the core. Exhale, packing that energy into the fingers, into the toes. Continuing to do this, and notice how now it's starting to fill. It's becoming so full, it's starting to fill into the bones of the feet and the rest of the hands. As the energy comes in through the fingers, through the toes, all the way to your core, and then as we exhale, it packs chi in to the hands, to the feet, to the fingers, to the toes. And the next breath comes in, all the way through your bones. Exhale, and it packs into the hands and to the feet. And just get a sense how they're starting to really fill up with chi, fill up with energy here. As you continue to breathe in this long, deep breathing pattern, through the fingers, through the toes, and just notice now as you exhale, it's starting to fill your wrist and your ankles. And you can even imagine a blue ribbon wrapping around to strengthen these joints. Breathing in through the fingers, in through the toes, all the way your core, and it fills the wrist and ankles, and of course, all the areas we've already worked with, keeping them full. Continuing to breathe and get a sense of more and more vitality going into the wrist and the ankles. As they become fuller and fuller and fuller, and it starts to move up into the bones of the lower leg and the lower arm. Breathing in through the fingers and toes as we fill our core and then pack that energy into the tibia and fibula of the lower leg and the radius and ulna of the arm. Getting a sense of these hollow bones filling up with energy. As the bones get stronger from the inside out, get more and more vibrancy. Continuing to breathe in this pattern into the fingers, in through the toes, packing that energy into the arm bones, lower arms, lower leg. Getting a sense of vibrancy and vitality filling up these areas. As it starts to move into the elbows and the knees, wrapping those joints as well. Breathing in all this vitality through the fingers and toes, packing that energy into the knees, into the elbows, getting more and more energy packing in here. Getting a sense of how powerful this energy is. It packs into your bones, moving up to the big bones of the upper arm, upper legs, the humerus bone of the arm, the femur bone of the leg. Getting a sense of the energy flowing up through the fingers and toes to your core and then packing into these big bones, wrapping them up and giving them strength and vitality. Strong bones, filling them up with chi to strengthen them, strengthen the bone marrow. Continuing to breathe in this long, deep pattern as we move our focus up to the shoulders and the hips. Don't wrap these joints. These are full range ball and socket joints. We want to make sure they have full range. And because they're so important, we can breathe directly in to these joints as well. Breathing in through the fingers and toes and directly like there's a straw going into your shoulder, into your hip joint, into your core, and then packing in to these vital joints of the shoulders and the hips. Continuing to fill, of course, the arms and legs as we do so. Long, slow, deep breath, just packing all this chi, filling up your bones. And beginning to work into all the bones that make up your pelvis and your shoulder girdle. Breathing in, fingers, toes, directly into the hips and shoulders and all the way into the core, and then packing that energy into the collarbone, into the pelvic bones, into the scapula, the back. Just supporting all of these areas here. Filling them up with energy. More and more vitality. Breathing in from the fingers and toes, directly into the hips, directly into the shoulders, into your core, filling all these bones that support your appendages. The sense of them more and more filling up with more and more vitality. And then breathing in, fingers, toes, hips and shoulders, and the bottom of the spine, the tip of the coccyx, and filling all the vertebra of your spine. Let's help all the individual vertebrae, almost like you're wrapping them, wrapping them to bring more vitality to the suppleness and support of this vital bones of our backbone, of our spine. Breathing in, fingers, toes, hips, shoulders, tip of the tailbone, and filling all the vertebra from the bottom of the spine to the top of the neck. Getting a sense of bringing more and more strength here, more and more suppleness to the movement of the spine. So you have full access of your spine as we strengthen it with this healing light, with this healing energy, with this breath. You can visualize that as blue light if you'd like to fill the bones and bring more vitality. As we breathe in from fingers and toes, hips, shoulders, bottom of the coccyx, and then also tip of the sternum, your breastbone, as you fill the sternum and all of the ribs. Getting a sense of packing chi into the sternum, the breastbone, and all the ribs. As we support all the other bones we've already worked with, continuing to pack energy in and moving into these new areas as we fill them up as well. Fingers, toes, hips, shoulders, sternum, coccyx, filling all these areas. Getting more and more vitality, more and more pressure because it fills up. It comes so full it can't hold anymore. It moves to the next area, which is the jaw and the skull. Filling all the bones of the jaw and the skull. Fingers, toes, hips, shoulders, bottom of the coccyx, tip of the sternum, and tip of the chin. Just focusing on any points that really resonate with you. You don't have to work with all of them. Just breathing into all these points or whatever point you're focusing on and just filling into your core and then packing that energy into the jawbone, into the teeth, into all the bones of the skull that protect the brain, the sense organs, the glands within the brain. Getting a sense of the whole skeleton filling up. Breathing in from all of our points and filling in and packing in the energy into the complete skeleton of the body. And a sense of opening up more flow. So the bone marrow is working, producing those nice red blood cells, that the bones are stronger and more supportive of your structure, that the joints are more supple, that there's good energy flowing through the bones and your skeleton as a whole. And just take a few more nice deep breaths here. And then bringing one hand on top of the other to the navel. Let's lock that energy in with 6 rotations in one direction, 6 in the other, 6 being the healing number of the kidneys and the bones. And just pausing there and breathing, letting your eyes begin to softly open, and to take in the environment around you once again. And then bring your hands to your heart. Just say thank you to yourself. Just finish with a little moment of gratitude for yourself, for all that you did today, all that you're doing.